All right, we are learning about story problems that have to do with time because we need to be able to take time away from time. We need to find out how to do something earlier than the time at planned. So we're going to start with just a small increment of time so we can begin to think about how to subtract time. So let's read our story problem. We have to be in line for dismissal at 2:55 p.m. It takes at least 2 minutes for the people who are walkers to get to the cafeteria. What is the latest time we can leave the classroom? Now, if you're at home, I want you to picture that we are in our classroom because this is specific to our class. We have some students who have to walk just a few steps to get in the carpool line, and then we have other students who have to get all the way across the building by 2:55 so that we are ready for dismissal. If we leave our classroom at 2:55, the only people who are going to be on time are those who have to walk just a few steps. So we want to be sure that we're on time, that everybody is on time, so we cannot leave our classroom at 2:55 p.m. So let's talk through our story problem and use the laminated paper that I gave you. All right, so let's look at the laminated paper that I had sent home. At the top, it says asked, given, math sentence, or answer. Now you can use a dry erase marker, or you can just copy the titles onto a piece of paper and practice it at home. So under asked, we want to figure out what is the story problem asking us. Well, it's asking us what is the latest time that we can leave the classroom for dismissal specifically. Let's look at given. It takes 2 minutes for the walkers to get to the cafeteria, so we know that. That is something that it tells us. Also, we know that we have to be in line at 2:55 p.m. So how are we going to make the time that we have and the 2 minutes that it gives us and make this into a subtraction problem? Okay, into a math sentence. Well, when we're dealing with time, it might not look like a traditional math sentence, although you could. But let's make a sentence out of this. 2 minutes before 2:55 p.m. is what? So that tells us what we need to find out. We need to find out what 2 minutes before 2:55 p.m. is. And be sure that if you are taking the time to write this down, that you're pausing it after each little section that we do so you can actually practice writing this down. Okay, so if you need to rewind a little bit and pause it after each one so you can take time to write it down, then please do that. So look at a clock or draw a clock, or let me see, I can pull one up here. There it is. You can look at a clock and you can decide where 2:55 would be. Remember that the hour hand is going to be closer to the 3, right around here, and our minute hand is going to be right over here where the 55 would be. Okay, parents, you can also print off a clock, like a clip art clock or something like that, without hands, and that way you can, and usually if you type in the word analog clock, you'd be able to get some clip art or be able to download that or print it off so that they have something that they can practice on, or make copies of the one from homework. Okay, so let's show our work. You can show it on a clock written down, or you can do a subtraction problem and subtract 2 minutes from 2:55 p.m. And what would your answer be? Pause it and give yourself some time to think about this, and then I will tell you the answer. The answer would be 2:53 p.m. Okay, so if you're still having trouble with this, you could also practice doing increments of 15. That would be something that we need to work on to be ready for STAR in the spring. So subtracting 15 minutes at a time. I'm going to go ahead and pull up the next question, and it's harder because you have to add first and then subtract. So it is not something that we'd be able to necessarily do on our own in 3rd grade yet, but it's where we want to be for STAR testing. So I'm going to pull that up next. Okay, so it takes me 15 minutes to walk my dog each morning. It takes me 45 minutes to get ready each morning. Oh my goodness. How much would that be altogether? 45 plus 15. Okay, think about that. I have to leave at 6:45 a.m. By what time must I wake up each morning? Okay, so let's look at that on our asked, given, math sentence, and answer. Okay, so what time do I have to wake up each morning is the question being asked. I'm told that I have to be ready by 6:45. It takes me 45 minutes to get ready and 15 minutes to walk my dog. So let's turn that into a math sentence. 15 plus 45 equals how many minutes? Okay, so that would be 60 minutes. And so I need to figure out what the answer is for 60 minutes before 6:45 a.m. Okay, so that would be 1 full hour before 6:45 a.m. So on a clock, you can either do 15 minutes and then move it another 45 minutes, and you would find that that would get you at what time? Try it, pause it, and then listen to the answer. Okay, since 15 plus 45 is 60 minutes, that would be 5:45 a.m. that I have to be out of my bed and walking my dog and getting ready every morning so I can help get the kids ready too. So think about this with your own schedule. And something I also told the children today is that a speedometer is also a number line. So we can use number lines, we can use a clock, we can use standard subtraction. There are all sorts of ways that you can solve story problems. So think through that, and you will keep getting your mind prepared for that test in the spring, but more importantly, just for life in general. So that way you can solve problems on your own.